when you face ups and downs, do not look at it as personal victories or personal defeats, because you will win some, you will lose some.
Welcome back to Let's Ascend, a channel where you get perspectives on rising up in your personal and professional life. My today's guest is Aseem Soni, who's the former CEO and board member of Modern Food India Private Limited. Aseem has had a spectacular career spanning over 30 years, where he's worked with organizations like Gillette, Dabur, Henkel, Reckitt, Cargill, and of course, Modern Foods. During my conversation, Aseem shared 5 wonderful lessons that helped him rise up in his corporate career. These lessons ranged from the importance of building high-performing leadership teams that would eventually make you redundant in your role, to having a very clear and sharp career path carved out for yourself. And when you have that path carved out, you should be saying no to even the most attractive opportunities if they are not in line with the path that you have carved out. And Aseem is a really gifted and talented singer. So just before concluding this video, Aseem sang a beautiful song that summarized his journey. So do watch this video till the end.
Thank you very much, Vishal, for giving me the opportunity to share my journey and some of the key lessons that I've learned over the years. Over the last 5 years, I have been representing a private equity fund in running one of their investee companies called Modern Foods. And we have successfully scaled up the company, made it compliant, and we've divested out of the business, as most of the private equity funds like to do within 5 to 7 years of their acquisition. You will be surprised, and many are surprised day in, day out, that I actually started my journey as a salesman, covering shops, carrying a bag. This was a job I took way back in the 80s, soon after I had passed out of college. The moment I was into that role, I realized that apart from skill, discipline, commitment, all these things are great to deliver on the current job. But if one has to be ready for tomorrow's job, one has to prepare for different skill sets. And with that intention in mind, I left my first job where I'd spent about 2 years and I was doing very well, because I thought that if I continue to be trapped in this environment of comfort, which is a good job, I was liking the job, good money, I was a bachelor, then I would never be able to step out and explore. And that's what I did. And I ended up doing my MBA post that from IRMA, Institute of Rural Management, Anand in Gujarat. And the journey has been very different there afterwards. Some of the learnings that I've picked up along the way in my 30-year-old journey, the ones that I keep very close to my heart. I think in the initial stages of my career, being a young guy, full of energy, aspirations, ambitions, I did not realize the value of doing justice to every role. And I seemed to be in a hurry to grow from one designation to the other, from one role to the other. And it was in the early stages of my 30-year-long career that I literally negotiated for the next role with my manager. Don't ask me how I did that, but I ended up negotiating. And for all the good or bad reasons, he ended up giving me that role, or putting me in that position. And just because I was not ready for that position, I couldn't deliver. And because I couldn't deliver, obviously I had to move on from that role and from that organization. I think this happened very early in my career, and that was like a big shocker for me. And that reinforced the point in me that I have to get ready for the next role before I take on that role. I have to be at least 80% there. Whether that means reading more, whether that means getting attached to the next level, whether that means going to your HR and saying, please tell me what do I need to do to get ready for that role, whatever that means. One has to get ready for that next role. It was in the year 2000 when a similar situation was in front of me, where after I had carved out my trajectory, my career trajectory, and I was very clear that these are some of the roles that I have to do to reach to the business vertical or the CEO position, I was not feeling complete, because one of the roles which I had defined as the regional head role, running a regional P&L, I had not done till the year 2000. And I remember I used to work for a company called Dabur in those days, a very good, progressive, professional Indian organization. And I got an offer from Reckitt Benckiser, saying that why don't you come and do this sales development role for us. And Reckitt was a very aspirational one, a multinational and global portfolio, different ways of working. I actually said no to that assignment, because I was very clear that the next role, wherever it was to be, has to be a regional head's role. And I think it was for all the good reason that Reckitt, after waiting for 9 months, when they eventually had a regional head's role, they again knocked at my door and said, okay, now we have that role for you that you were wanting to do. Why don't you come and join us? So I think it's important to target, to be focused when it comes to the career planning and execution as to what you want to do and what all do you want to learn to keep growing in your career. One of the other things that I've sort of enjoyed is to build teams, leadership teams, I mean. So in the last 10 to 11 years, I built 2 leadership teams. The latest one I built about 5.5 years back to run this newly acquired business of Modern Foods. This is where sometimes one, as a professional, one has to let go and say that, listen, let me build a team that doesn't think like me, doesn't behave like me, doesn't act like me. Let me build a team that can value add to my skill set. And that's what I did in this business. Got people who had much better competence in their functions than me. So I considered that I was only there to join the dots as the CEO, but the real skill, functional knowledge, wisdom was brought in by the functional leader. And those are the people who actually complete me. So whenever you're building a team, I think the question to ask is, are you bringing in people that can complement what you have? Because having more people doing the same is of no help at all. You need people who can think deeply and diversely. Have people around me who can support me to deliver on the company's agenda, and I have to provide an environment for them to succeed. Taking the positive out of every experience is important. So you could land up in a situation which is a little unfavorable. Let me give you an example which is a little drastic. So in one of the assignments that I had done for one of the organizations, I landed up in the city of Kolkata. And one of the key agendas of the organization was to de-unionize the sales force that had crippled the organization because of their little belligerent behavior and attitude. I was put in the midst of this agenda, and the job was not just to de-unionize the eastern region running out of Kolkata, but the entire country, where each region was being headed by a regional head. But Kolkata being the hub of all such kinds of activities, you can understand the kind of pressure that there would be on this particular role. But you know what happened, Vishal, that in the process of trying to drive this agenda, I actually started to appreciate also the benefits that unions brought to the organization. And in a lot of places where there is no standard understanding, there are different kinds of expectations, especially at the workman level. Unions are fantastic simply because they talk with a lot of rationality and there are no emotions. And they normally work at the highest common factor, where they are trying to please all of them on a few points which are common to all, rather than the other way, where there is nobody to join the dots to make them cohesive. And then the management is actually talking to every individual and trying to submit or trying to satisfy everybody's expectations and demands. What I'm saying here is that there was a very unfavorable and difficult environment that I was in during those 2 years. But eventually, I came out of it with very strong positive learnings in terms of union negotiations and trying to build a bridge towards them, a bond with them. Even today, I have those learnings with me and I practice them. To make yourself useless or redundant for the role that you have been taken. And that is something I practice every day. Whether I am running a meeting or whether I am reviewing something or whether I'm having a one-on-one session with somebody, my entire objective is how can I make the team or the individual sitting in front of me self-reliant and more capable to handle things than he was or she was yesterday. And the whole intention is that tomorrow, if I'm not there in this role in this company, can the company or the business or the agenda be driven without my presence? And if the answer is yes, then I'm doing my job. And therefore, every interaction I'm having within the organization today is with that purpose. And I had gone to Africa in a small business and with all the expat costs in brackets. And I think that's the first decision I took when I reached there, that no, this business doesn't need me. I'm too expensive. We have to make the team self-reliant to appoint a local person as the CEO to run the business. Even today, when I'm in my Zoom calls with my leadership team, my best moments are when the leadership team identifies a problem and is able to solve it by themselves, discussing within themselves, and my Zoom is on mute voice and mute video. So I feel happy that I'm not required to address that issue, address that problem, and it's all happening without me. And tomorrow, if there is an issue, these people are capable of solving it within themselves. So those are my best moments today, even today.
Before we let you go, you are a great singer and I've heard you sing live and you are so talented. So I think it'll be great if you could sing something for us, and it'll be even more terrific if you could relate it to your journey somehow.
I've just come out of COVID and I've not been singing for the last 2 months. And so please bear with me. But this song is close to my heart, and it sort of borrows from the thought that there is nothing perfect in any journey. And everybody will face ups and downs. And that's not abnormal. Please consider it normal. And when you face ups and downs, do not look at it as personal victories or personal defeats, because you will win some, you will lose some. ये न सोचो इसमें अपनी हार है कि जीत है, उसे अपना लो जो भी जीवन की रीत है। ये जिद छोड़ो, यूं ना तोड़ो, हर पल एक दर्पण इस जीवन का ये